because this is you're stepping in, because some people, when you say, oh, my husband and I are going our separate ways, they go, oh no, oh, that's sad. But you actually see this as
a celebration.
A celebration.
I really do. I look at it as, one of my friends, she sent this beautiful letter to me from a woman who got a divorce. And it's all about, you know, this perspective, in my opinion, and just changing the narrative. You know, my marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that.
Oh, yes, it's the date messing. Yes, we're back again. I know I'm late to the party, but I could not pass up a reaction to this video, to this situation. I spoke on it briefly, but I did not get a chance to speak on this interview she did. Here we have the modern American woman sitting in front of millions, saying with confidence that her marriage was a success, that she divorced and had children. And mind you, the children are still children. They're not adults, meaning they haven't reared them to a point of quote unquote graduation. No pun intended. They haven't graduated to the sense of being self-sufficient or branching off into a family of their own. So how is your marriage a success when the child rearing is still unfinished? And this is a person that doesn't have children giving you this type of perspective, because I understand, which is the fact that I don't have children. What up? A baby daddy? What? I wish I would. If most men thought in this manner, in this fashion, our communities, our education systems, our resources, environment would not look the way it looks, because the standard of maintenance and even getting into a scenario where children will be brought into the picture, the standard is not on the fucking floor. Right now, the American standard, and especially in Black America, the standard for relationships is on the floor, yet they speak as if they're in the clouds on the internet. Yet you look at their real life, 2 baby daddies, 1 night stand babies. He was two different baby dad. How are your standards so up here now? But here you have people paying serious attention to this woman spill delusions of grandeur. How the fuck is your marriage a success if you leave him and the children are still in the process of development? How do you feel that marriage is something of a curriculum? How are we giving this any credence? You have women sitting across from her, listening to her as if she's saying some absolute truths. Going through a marriage, the ups and downs, the trials and tribulation is a curriculum. Do you know in life and death takes place? That may be on the husband's side or the wife's side. That takes an effect on you. So how can you deal with all of these issues and say, okay, it's a curriculum, I graduated. Graduating to what? This is the delusion that is being spread across the land, which is why relationships have become a non-factor for most men, as I would advise you to stay far away from them. Now, the healthy relationships, meaning you've bonded organically, and the interests, the values, the principles, the everything lines up. The ones that get it will get it when it's their time. But what you're saying now is women going through marriages early on, and then they feel they want to get a second win to do whatever. Most likely explore their sexual libido, because again, I've told you in previous videos, as a woman ages, her libido increases. This is where you get the term cougar from. Her libido increases. A man needs a younger woman to keep his libido, optimal. You see that? So a man that is 45 and he has a wife, more likely he can no longer satisfy her because he's sexually plateaued. She's out of her sexual prime to him. Now, to the unknowing young male, he doesn't know any better. He just sees an experienced woman that's going to let him do whatever he wants. That's the sexual appeal to him. So these women opt and hit the eject button because they want one last run. They want one last run on the cock carousel. And there's nothing wrong with that. For you, you just need to understand this. Let them ride that wave and crash out, because you see the ones that's been on the internet crying, overweight, beauty has faded, sad, staying alone. You'll see them sad and miserable in their later years. This is what you must know. So that curves your emotional reaction to this. But to see this is to use it as a cautionary tale, to know what and who you're getting into this situation with. And the dynamic in which, see, the thing about it's not more so what you do, is how you do it. Corey Hardrick, again, more likely was the good dad, the great father. I tell you, no good deed goes unpunished. I myself, and I don't even like to let you into my personals, I see my father get punished for being an awesome and amazing father. I've seen this. So this speaks to the illness that our modern women have. They don't know how to have healthy relationships. They don't know how to be pleasant. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Now, do I believe in all stereotypes? Absolutely not. But a lot of them show a lot of truth. This woman said on national TV that someone sent her a letter. Now, let's pay attention to this. This is the part that she didn't say direct. She stated that someone sent her a letter and they equated marriage and, I guess, graduation together from a curriculum. Now, you notice her response to this. Look at her attitude change. So all it took was someone to say something that sounds catchy and sounds believable for her to go and do the exact same thing and use that very same reason that this other woman did or had, even though she didn't know their particular situation. The same reason was used to justify the split. Well, I feel I'm unhappy. She doesn't want to say the direct words, so I use the code words. I graduated, meaning I outgrew him. In many ways, a lot of them is going to be sexual because he hasn't taken himself to his supreme level. So in order to maintain a woman's loyalty, she has to be raised a certain way. Actually, it has to be twofold. She has to be raised to be that way. And you have to have this allure of progression, appeal sexually, you have to have all of these things. And that still won't guarantee her loyalty. But what that will guarantee you, the fact that you have those attributes, you should have the confidence to operate in a dynamic that leaves you with no loss. You see what I did there? I did not put the value in her standard or interest in it. I put the value in you having certain attributes, which makes you the confident man to not go into any situation with a woman as equal or less than, because you will lose in those positions. You have to have the elevated position to maintain dominance. See, these are trigger words that feminists will. What you mean dominance? Like, I want to enslave you? No, meaning this is my house. I didn't need you to co-sign. I own it. I have the deed, or I have the mortgage. I have the lease. Whatever the case may be, you are in full control of the environment first. If you're not in control of the environment, you don't have any say so. If she went 50-50 on the down payment, whatever, her name is on the lease as well, on the deed, you have no power. You have relinquished. At that moment, you have given up 50% of your own power. Need a woman for nothing but to bring your children to fruition. You can want her for certain things, but need her for only that reason. I've seen the love story 100 times over. Women all enamored with me, all into me. It's great when it's an amazing thing. It gives you a certain feeling, but it's not a real feeling, because the moment the condition change on her end or your end, whether it's hardship, adversity, whatever the case may be, she's likely to detach, because she more likely came to you with a low level of oxytocin anyway for her to bond to you for a long term or a long time. She has to constantly change. It's like a battery. They have to constantly change out men because their body cannot continue or maintain the bond. You see, because her body is changing as she gets older. But you don't put the value in her standards. You know, we do put a lot of emphasis in what the woman wants, and this, you want the man to be this. We don't give a damn, because you cannot control your height. You can't control your physique, your income, your lifestyle. Things that you can control, you take 100% control of those, and you share no power. Because she wants you to be all of these things, yet she still thinks you should be 50-50 to her. She still thinks what you can do, she can do it as well. Yet when it's time for the bill to come out, when it's time for certain expenses, danger, you know, stroking her emotions, knowing when to be cold, knowing when to do certain things, she wants you to do all of this. But these delusions of grandeur will continue, because they're already being listened to. So if it's being listened to, like I said, all that woman had to do was write a catchy letter equating divorce to graduating from a curriculum, and she said, I like that, I'm gonna use that. That's gonna be my excuse. Women will rarely be honest with you. Only time they will be honest with you is when all respect is lost, or when they're angry. You have to watch what they do, not what they say. But if your marriage ends in divorce, it is not a success. It is not a success. Now, if you had the agreement that, you know, we're going to get married, enjoy each other, rear children, bring them up to, you know, whatever that age of completion of self-sufficiency, they can maintain themselves. They're good. Let's just keep it that way. And then you say, okay, well, the contract has been met. Then you can say this situation or contract, whatever, was a success because you fulfill all of the goals in the contract. You see. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.